The Liverpool head coach made of it. Arne Slot's been speaking to Sky Sports post-match.
Well, Arne, you said in the run-up to this match, we have the quality to go there and put up a fight. Did you absolutely show that tonight?
Yeah, I think we did. In the first half, they were the team that played most on our half. Led to a few moments of crosses, but not too big chances, I think. And in the second half, it was exactly the opposite, where we dominated ball possession for almost the whole 45 minutes played on their half. So yeah, the only thing that missed maybe from my side for our team was that, again, not for the first time, from all that ball possession, all that moments around the box. Yeah, you were hoping for to create even more chances, but against an Arsenal team that had so great momentum, still have great momentum, to put a performance like this is something where I'm very positive about.
Why did the game change so much in your favour in the second half?
No, I think there were already spells in the first half where we showed how good we are in ball possession. But we kept on doing that in the second half, and then we kept them on their 18-yard box, and when they kicked away, we picked up the ball again. So, but even in the first half, our maybe biggest chance of the game also came from 15, 20 passes in a row, I think. So I saw a lot of good moments in the first half. Second half, I think the way we defended was a bit better than the first half. We had to adjust one or two details.
Can you tell us what those details were?
No, it wasn't that much, but there was constantly a 3 against 2 that we had to defend. And then, I mean, their 2 centre backs with their number 6, and I think we did that better in the second half than the first half, which made it even more difficult for them to get in the positions they did get in the first half. So and in combination with us being good on the ball, yeah. I'm maybe in the end still a little bit disappointed that we didn't win, but a good performance.
Yeah, does it feel like a performance that's a big step forward, or is it just the case that actually for most of the season you've actually been quite good in these big games? It's the different types of games against low blocks, lower teams in the division that just don't suit you as well at the moment.
I've said 150 times already that against certain opposition, certain playing styles, we're a very good team, and against certain playing styles, we struggle. And maybe you could even see that today, although people are now positive that we kept the ball so long, but even against the low block of Arsenal, we struggled to create chances. So that is something we would like to do better. But in all the big games we played this season, I think, except maybe for City away, although there was a big incident that went against us just before half-time. And I think for all the other games, we've showed that we can compete with any other team, but we've struggled too much against low blocks. That's why we are, as one of the reasons, so many points behind them. And of course, it's good that we show going into the second half of the season that we can compete with any team in England, but I think also in Europe.
What is possible in the second part of this season for Liverpool? A gap between you and Arsenal is 14, which, I don't know, you tell me, it seems like too much, but obviously there are, in terms of qualifying for the Champions League itself, there is still an awful lot to play for.
Yeah, and don't forget the FA Cup, which is the next game coming up. So, let's first hope that the injuries we come back as soon as possible. But I'm afraid that another injury has come up today, because let's hope for the best, but I fear the worst for Conor Bradley.
Did that upset you at the end? Not just the injury, but
yeah,
the way particularly Gabriel Martinelli handled it?
I think if a player of us is on the floor, people might know by now that is, normally I say 99 out of 100 times, or maybe I should say 100 out of 100 times, then there's something wrong with that player. And I think you could see this. So, yeah, you don't like to see a player being moved if he might have such a big injury. So yeah, that was indeed an incident that happened, that I didn't like to see one of my players being moved out of the pitch if he might have such a big injury, which we don't know yet, but might be.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's get a final thought then from each of our fans before we let them go this evening. Louis, come to you first on that last bit about Conor Bradley. It was unsavoury. I think even if you're not a Liverpool fan, it was pretty unsavoury watching Gabriel Martinelli doing that towards the end.
I truthfully think it was a reflection of, something that Phil and Jason mentioned earlier. I think Arsenal are starting to feel a bit of pressure from the fact that, they've been nearly there 3 years running, and that gap's only 6 points. And I think that Martinelli reaction was disgraceful. One, it was just a lack of respect for an opponent who's on the pitch. But I think it's largely based on this Arsenal team has now reached January, and it's pressure time, and I think they're wilting a bit. And I expected that we had an opportunity to get a point today for that reason.
Courtney, it's sort of, again, what part of the manager alluded to there is you want to see positive steps keep going in the right direction, because too often this season you felt it's been a step forward and then 3 days later it's a couple back again. So you just want to, maybe Barnsley is not the right time to judge it, but once it gets to Burnley and then into the Champions League again, you want to just keep seeing this progression going.
Sorry. But yeah, as I was saying earlier on about the team, like, we don't know what to expect for the Barnsley game. I think at the minute, before the game, you probably would have said we're seeing quite a few changes. But I think now, if it was me, I'd go for the same team just to keep the momentum going and keep building on the positives.
Abby, what about you? Who would you like to see on Monday night? I think you touched on Rio earlier, but anyone else you'd like to see a game given to?
I want to see more Chiesa. I really, really want to see more Chiesa, especially like when Isak got injured, Ekitike's picked up a fitness issue. It just felt like a time where Chiesa could be given a bit more game time. I want to see more Chiesa. I know I keep saying it. I want to see more Rio. I just believe there's so much faith in Rio and Gamoa by the club and by the fans. I just believe he's the type of player that can win us games of football, especially in a competition like the FA Cup. I think it's made for magical moments from players like Rio. So I'm hoping he's someone that we see as well. The injuries just don't help us at all. I can understand what Courtney's saying about just stay consistent, start a strong team, try and go on a bit of a winning run now, maybe try and build on that, keep the unbeaten run going and all. I do get that, but I think you've got to give other players like Chiesa and Rio a chance at game time. It's important for fitness as well. So yeah.
Abby, Courtney, Louis, thank you very much indeed for being with us this evening. We will speak to you all again soon. We'll just talk to the boys about that game against Barnsley on Monday night. Before we go, Jason, as part of the only Liverpool team that played in a Premier League game at Anfield that were beaten 1-0 by Barnsley that day.
With Tomo sitting next to me, thanks very much for reminding me.
You weren't included for the reverse fixture at Oakwell later in the season.
And we won that, didn't we?
Yeah, did win 3-2, yeah. What are you expecting from Liverpool in particular?
Listen, it's an opportunity to give some of the players who haven't had minutes. You know, the likes of Chiesa, Rio Gamoa, Troy Naomi. If these kind of players will come into the team, I think Robbo will get a start. It'll be a sprinkle of like
Robbo.
Yeah, Joe Gomez. The players need game time, need to get up to speed because you're going to need them. You're going to need them to drop into the first team at some point because the boys you can't keep picking the same team week in, week out. It's going to have to rest them.
I hope he will be changes. I hope he has the cavalry on the bench.
Yeah.
The ground's going to be full. Barnsley fans are going to be good, but the ground will be fun. And the spectators come, no matter what, to see a lot of the big stars. I know they need rest, and I know they do, but we're going to have to play some of them, but have them on the bench just in case. You know, the game against Crystal Palace with all the kids on the bench as well did not go down well. I felt for a lot of the young kids who come to watch the game, and I think that should always be taken into account.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because last season you could sort of understand had they have made a lot of, I mean, they did make huge changes actually. That went out to Plymouth with a lot of changes, but there was a bigger prize in sight. Now, obviously Liverpool is largely focused on winning Premier Leagues and winning Champions League, but the perception of a season, which has been difficult, there's been a lot of churn, transition, we've talked about all of that, but the perception of that season, if at least you put some silverware in the cabinet, if it's an FA Cup, does change a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And it's always, you have to understand, I've been there and making those decisions where you've had to change the team, but you always have that extra quality on the bench to come on just in case. And it's always got to be there. But I always feel you're duty bound. We are a huge club. There's kids come from all over the world who can't get tickets for Premier League games. They can get them for the Carabao Cup. They'll come to the FA Cup games. Show them those players.
Shock results in the FA Cup is not down to the lack of quality, it's down to mentality. Like the big game, like when you see Wrexham beating Arsenal and Liverpool going out. I remember watching Graham Souness's last game on the Cop. It was Bristol City. You know, it's mindset, it's mentality. You go out with I played in the other side, but I'm giant killing myself. We beat Arsenal at Highbury. It's mindset there. It's that complacency. It's that lack of respect really they give you. It's just they go through the motions, and then all of a sudden your tails are up. You get a few opportunities. You think, oh, and then it's just sometimes your night. But if the top teams are on it, no matter what players are out there playing, you should win the game. You should win that game. It's all about mentality. If Liverpool go out with the right mentality, with a nice balanced team, and I agree with Tomo, you have it for security on the bench, you'd have a Wirtz on the bench, you'd have, you know...
hopefully Ekitike might be able to come on and play
possibly,
a little bit.
Yeah. Then you just have a bit of security. You should win the game.
We shall see on Monday evening. It is a 7:45 kick-off at Anfield, which means that Matchday Live is with you from 6:45 with Becky and the team as Liverpool look to book their place in round 4 of the